You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Y&R fans, we have got to talk about this Ashley Abbott, Tucker McCall back and forth. Overall, I'm fatigued with it, but now that Tucker is prodding Ashley to go to Paris, I have an idea of how this could get a lot more interesting, and I think it will in sweeps. This is Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to discuss whether Tucker's running an epic con job on Ashley that's about to freak her out. Please click subscribe to stay up to date on all the Young and the Restless spoilers and updates here. All right, so for, way too many weeks, I think it's been months now, honestly, we've been hearing Tucker McCall's side that it was a mild disagreement at the cafe in Paris. And Ashley's side is that Tucker exploded, broke a wine glass, kicked a chair. We've seen flashbacks from both their perspectives. I went back and found them all because I couldn't remember hers, but I went and found them. To further aggravate things, the CBS soap opera has been hinting that Ashley is falling apart mentally. They even re-aired an encore episode around the new year showing one of her past mental breakdowns. Clearly, the writers want us to think she's cracking up. And then they have Tucker playing all innocent and insisting it's not as she says. I mean, heck, the other day, Tucker McCall openly challenged Ashley, go to Paris, go back to the cafe, get your answers. Ask the people who work there what really happened. Sure, that's something that somebody who's innocent would say, but it's also what someone who's got a really devious plan in the works would say. Ashley keeps going back to Tucker and kind of beating what he says is a dead horse, her accusations that he's gaslighting her. But consider this, they're divorced. It's over and done. What if he was gaslighting her? Well, first of all, why? Other than just revenge. But how would her knowing that he was lying change anything? Other than convincing her he's a bigger villain than she already thinks he is. I mean, it's not like Ashley can divorce him any harder than she already has. They're divorced. So him telling lies, I just don't understand. They're over and done. Why can't she just walk away? Even if he is gaslighting her, I mean, she's kind of falling into the trap by continuing to come around to talk to him, to give him her energy and her time. She shows up, she starts a fight, then tells him to leave her alone. But she's the one who keeps coming to him. It's not the other way around. Why not just stay away from Tucker and don't give him the satisfaction of her attention? That seems like a better thing to do. Why not just cut ties, walk away, pretend he doesn't exist anymore? But she won't. Instead, I suspect by the end of this week, Ashley is going to get Tracy to go with her to Paris to investigate, just as Tucker suggested. But I don't think she's going to get the answers that she's hoping for. Consider this. Tucker is certain that Ashley's investigation will support his side of the story. That means either she is flaking out or he's doing a very thorough con job on her. He is gaslighting her like an Olympic torch, okay? It's a little hard to guess which way it's going to work out. I mean, Audra Charles told Ashley flat out she's never known Tucker to gaslight anyone, says it's not his style. That may be true, but people learn new things. They try new things, especially when they're angry and looking for payback. Tucker's confidence that he's right at first had me thinking, okay, Ashley's being a little obsessive. She's coming unglued. And she is coming unglued. Whether he's telling the truth or not, she is coming unglued because of this situation. But now, I'm starting to think Tucker McCall has maybe had this plot cooking for a while and is waiting on her to fall into his trap. I mean, it would be an easy enough thing for Tucker to jet back to Paris one of these weekends, when nobody was paying attention to what he was doing, and pay off people that work at that Parisian restaurant. I mean, I think it'd be pretty hard for Ashley to find somebody that was dining there that night, but the wait staff and the managers, they're probably the same. So that's kind of what I wonder if he's done. Because in terms of Tucker being totally innocent of the accusation, that almost seems like a long shot right now. If he were, it seems like the writers would have dropped the storyline by now. So spoilers for this Friday say Tracy takes a leap of faith with Ashley. And I think that's about them getting on a flight to Paris to find out the truth. And I'm putting truth in quotes. We'll see what they find out. Next week, February Sweeps kicks off on Thursday, February 1st. So I suspect we're going to find out the truth during Sweeps. I suspect it's going to come out in 2 stages. At first, Ashley and Tracy may go ask questions and they hear that Tucker McCall's version of things is what the wait staff and the manager repeat to them. So at first blush, I think it's going to be like, oh, wait, I must have been remembering wrong. Tucker's right. Did I just imagine all this? Am I really having a breakdown? But then maybe because she's got Tracy along and Tracy's a writer and she's detail oriented, maybe she's going to notice something. Maybe she's going to figure out everyone's stories sound too much alike because everybody's stories should be from their perspective. But if they repeat the same phrases, which happens a lot with like witness tampering and when people are conspiring, you know, or maybe a diner overhears them who's a regular who happened to be there that night, you know, I don't think they could easily turn up a witness on their own, you know, but one might fall into their lap. That's the kind of lazy writing Josh Griffith likes to do. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm expecting we're going to find out Ashley is sane and Tucker is a gaslighting tool. I have changed my mind fully on this over the past few weeks, by the way. If not, Ashley may need to see if there's a spare bed she can sign up for in the mental health ward. Maybe she and Claire Grace Howard can share a room and group therapy sessions. So, of course, you know, Jack Abbott just wants her to put Tucker McCall out of her mind, put him in her rearview mirror. And I still think that's the best strategy. But since Ashley's not willing to let it go, you know, she needs help from another sibling. And Tracy is more willing to hear this out while Jack just wants Ashley to shut it down. She won't. The good news is, though, if you're fatigued with this storyline, I think it's all going to be exposed and wrapped up during Sweeps. But let's say Ashley figures out Tucker has been gaslighting her and that he bribed the staff to keep the lie going. Say she finds all this out. What then? What can Ashley do with this info? Drop your comments. Let me know what you think. I mean, she can tell the Abbotts, but they're not going to, they hate Tucker. I don't know if they can hate him more. You know, she can't really take it to the press to smear him further because she'd sound kind of crazy. Ashley could go to Devon and say, your dad's awful, but you know, Devon already cut Tucker out of his life. He can't kick him out further. They're over and done. I'm just not sure anything can come of this other than Ashley getting some peace of mind knowing she was right and he's a liar. Past that, I don't see how this bit of trickery, if indeed Tucker is conning her, is going to have any blowback on him in a real way. I mean, even if for some reason what he did constitutes a crime, which I don't think so, it happened in Paris and they're in the US. I'll just be glad when it wraps up and I don't have to hear the same old argument again. No matter who's to blame, I'd like it to conclude so we can move another plot onto the front burner. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Tucker is running a con? Is she about to go over there and hear his version of the story out of every single person's mouth and then something twisted happens? We'll see. Drop your comments. Please subscribe if you haven't already and come back soon for more on Y&R. This is Belinda from Soap Dirt and I'm here talking Young and the Restless 7 days a week as always.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.